Hi, and welcome back for day 7. Today is all about finding your light and reconnecting with your fun and playful side. We experience burnout when we feel unable to express our true selves, and often that comes hand in hand with losing touch of what we enjoy and what makes us feel truly alive. So today we're going to reconnect with that light. We're going to start with our breath, focusing on our breath. In through the nose, all the way out. Bring your arms to your side, arch them up over your head. Exhale as you bring them back down. Inhale, arms up overhead, and exhale, bring them back down. Inhale, arms up, exhale, down. Inhale, up, exhale, down. Inhale. Exhale, come to the right side of your mat. So right hand comes down, left hand extends over the head. We're going to stretch into that left side body. Breathe into your ribs. We want to be able to move in all directions. Back to sitting. Inhale, reach overhead, and exhale to the left side. Stretching the right side body. The right arm extends over the head. The left arm is down on the mat. Take some nice deep breaths into those lower ribs. Come back to sitting. Extend your feet out in front of you. And inhale and bring your arms up. Exhale, forward fold, coming towards your feet. Your hands can come down to your ankles, your shins, wherever's comfortable. Engage the thighs, lift your knees. Coming back up, come over onto our hands and knees for tabletop position. So shoulders, elbows, and wrists in line, hips over knees. And we're going to rock back and forth, just loosening up the hips, the wrists, the spine. So you can dip your hips back to the right side, to the left side, into a figure 8 pattern. You're going to kind of wiggle around, moving your body however it feels comfortable for you, moving into that tension, allowing it to release. Regaining some flexibility in your spine. Then bring your knees apart and sink your hips back into child's pose, letting your arms extend in front of you. Taking some nice deep breaths, letting your heart sink to the mat. Back up into tabletop, curl the toes, and press back into downward facing dog. You can pedal it out here, especially if the hamstrings are tight. This is the first down dog of the day. Walk your feet forward, forward fold, hands at the shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, scoop the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step back. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Hands under shoulders, cobra. Tuck the toes, press back into dog. Step the feet forward again, coming into a nice deep forward fold. And this time you're going to sway your arms back and forth, move from the hips, get some movement through the spine, like a jellyfish. You can grab onto your elbows if that's more comfortable. Swaying back and forth, letting gravity extend your spine, and rolling up one vertebrae at a time, all the way to standing. Come to the top of your mat, facing forward. We're going to come into tree pose. Hands on your hips. Take your right foot out to the side. Heel can rest on your ankle. If this is okay, then leave it there. If you're comfortable, bring your foot up, either to the inner thigh, or if that's a little bit too challenging, just come to the inside of the calf. Hands together in prayer pose. If you're able, bring them way up over your head. Sometimes it's a little tricky to keep your balance here. That's okay. If you can, bend the elbows, come down to cactus pose. Looks like football standard. Hands to your heart and step back to the floor. We're going to switch sides. So hands to your hips and get set up again. Left leg turns out. Knee points out away from you. And bring the foot up either to the inner thigh or the inner calf, just avoiding being right on top of that knee joint. Arms extend up overhead. If you need to, touch your toe down, or you can come back to that original stance where your heel is just resting against your leg. Got cactus arms. Hands back to your chest and step down. Forward fold, hands to the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward into forward fold. Hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, scoop the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, step back. Lower down, chaturanga. Press up into a cobra. Exhale down. Tuck the toes and inhale, press back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward and come to facing. Slowly lower up one vertebrae at a time and come to facing the front of your mat with the long edge. Toes pointing to the corners of your mat. Hands to your hips, tailbone tucked. And you're going to lower down into goddess pose. Coming down as far as you can. Keeping those knees behind your toes. Hands to your chest in prayer position. Nice deep breaths. Extend your arms over your head. And then widen your elbows. Come down into cactus pose. See if you can lower that stance. Drop your hips down. Try and keep extended through the back. Hands to your hips. Extend up. Point your toes forward and forward fold. Again, we're going to come into jellyfish here. We're going to sway back and forth, letting our arms hang, letting our back hang, folding from the hips. Reach over to your left foot. Holding here, keeping those legs engaged, hips pressing back. Walk your hands across to your right foot. And back to center. Bring your arms out halfway lift. If you need to bring the floor up to you a little bit, put your block underneath your hands. And walk your hands back between your feet. Bending your knees if the hamstrings are a little angry here. Heel toe your way in to your feet so they're side by side, hip width apart. And slowly raise up one vertebrae at a time to standing. Come back to face the short edge of your mat, long ways. Hands to the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, scoop your arms all the way up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step back. Lower down, chaturanga. Hands stay underneath your shoulders. Press up for cobra. Tuck your toes under. Press back into downward facing dog. From here, step your right foot forward between your hands. Keep that left leg extended. Bring your hands up to your thigh. Work on our balance here a little bit. Warrior one. Extend those arms above your head. Make sure you're keeping that right knee behind your toes. Back to the floor. Step your right foot back. And take the left foot forward between the hands. Tailbone tucked, back leg engaged. Hands to your thighs, arms extended overhead. Keep your lower belly pulled in towards your ribs. Sink low into the thigh. And hands back down to the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward into a forward fold. Hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, scoop your arms up. Exhale, fold. Step back into plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Tuck your toes and press back into dog. Come down to your knees. You're on your hands and knees. Your feet come out to the side. You're going to bring your bum back to the mat so you're sitting facing the short edge of your mat. Bring the soles of your feet together. Knees pointing out, coming into bound angle pose. Elongate through the spine. Just like gravity pulled the knees down. You don't need to press them down. Just let them relax. Let your breath come back to normal. Extend your feet out in front of you and come back to lying on your back on your mat. Bend your knees so your feet are flat on the ground and extend your arms out to either side. Let your knees drop to the right side, coming into a supine spinal twist. Your gaze comes back to the left. If this is hard on your back, you can support the knees with a blanket or a bolster underneath. The twist should be coming from your spine, your torso, your shoulders pressed to the mat. Your feet, knees back up and over to the other side. Your gaze turns to the right side. Some nice deep breaths here. I'm going to keep that flexibility, that mobility through our spine. mobility in our day-to-day life to find balance. Bring your knees up to your chest. You can rock back and forth a little bit, give your low back a little massage in the mat. Knees up to your chest, and you're going to bring your feet in so that you can grab onto the outside edge of your foot with your hands. Keep your elbows tucked to the inside of your knees. Bring your knees to your armpits. Happy baby. Press your feet up into your hands. And relax. Give those knees one last squeeze before you bring them back out to the edges of your mat. Coming into Savasana. So you can take your feet wide apart and tuck your knees together, or you can extend them out, letting your feet relax, letting your legs relax. Body starts to feel heavy and relaxed. Focus back on your breath. Let your body melt into the mat. And as you're focusing on your breath, feel the joy that comes with relaxation. The joy that comes with taking time to play and have fun. Start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Become more aware of your surroundings. And when you're ready, roll onto your left side. Come back up to sitting. There's no rush. Stay here as long as you need. And today, as you go forward and to seek joy, carve out a few minutes to do something fun, to smile, to find your light, and to share it